Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about Lincoln Wheat cents, some of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history. These coins, often called wheat pennies, were minted from 1909 to 1958, and many collectors are still searching for the rarest dates and eras that can be worth far more than just 1 cent. Some of these Lincoln Wheat cents have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, making them highly collectible and extremely desirable. That's why you need to stay with me until the very end of this video, because I'll be sharing the most valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies that could still be hiding in your collection or even in everyday pocket change. First up, the most valuable 1945 Lincoln's Wheat cent with no mint mark. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent is one of the most talked about pennies among collectors and coin enthusiasts, and today we are going to explore everything that makes this coin important, collectible, and valuable. The Lincoln Wheat cent series has a special place in American numismatic history, and the 1945 issue is a coin that many people still come across in collections, in old jars of change, and even occasionally in circulation. What makes it truly exciting is that although it may look like an ordinary old penny at first glance, certain examples of the 1945 wheat cent can be worth far more than face value. This is why collectors pay close attention to every detail, from the date and mint mark to the condition, and even errors that can increase its value significantly. The Lincoln Wheat cent itself was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, making it the first circulating U.S. coin to display a real person's portrait. The reverse design showcased 2 stalks of wheat, giving the coin its popular nickname, the wheat cent or wheat penny. By 1945, the United States was at the end of World War II, and the production of the Lincoln Wheat cent reflected the nation's history during that time. Millions of these pennies were struck that year, but despite their high mintage, some coins are far more valuable than others. This is why it is important to learn exactly what makes the 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent special. When it comes to the 1945 wheat cent, there are 3 main mint locations to consider: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D, and those from San Francisco with an S. While all 3 mints produced large quantities, collectors today know that coins in pristine condition or with striking errors can command impressive premiums in the market. Even circulated examples often hold more value than their face amount, especially for people who enjoy building complete sets of wheat cents. One of the biggest factors that makes the 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent valuable is its condition. Coins that have been heavily circulated may only be worth a few cents, but when you move up to higher grades, the value grows rapidly. A 1945 wheat cent that has been preserved in uncirculated condition, with its original luster and detail, can be worth several dollars or more depending on the specific mint mark. This is why collectors carefully examine their coins under magnification, looking for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Any sign of wear lowers the value, while sharpness and brilliance increase it dramatically. Another exciting aspect of the 1945 wheat cent is the possibility of errors and varieties. Errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and these unusual coins are often highly prized by collectors. Some of the most sought-after errors for wheat cents include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks. If you come across a 1945 wheat cent that looks different, has doubling on the letters or numbers, or shows unusual shapes around the mint mark, it could be worth a significant amount of money. These types of coins prove that even a penny can turn into a small fortune when collectors discover something rare. In addition to errors, the mint mark itself can make a difference in value. For example, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent from San Francisco tends to be scarcer in higher grades, which makes it more desirable to collectors. A regular circulated 1945 might not seem like much, but when you find one in mint state condition with great eye appeal, the value increases sharply. The same goes for the 1945 D from Denver and the 1945 Philadelphia cent collectors want not just the date, but also the best examples available. And this is where value comes into play. Another key point to understand is that the 1945 wheat cent represents an important moment in U.S. history. World War II had just ended, and coins from this period carry a sense of significance beyond their metal content. Collectors often enjoy connecting coins to the time in which they were used, and a 1945 penny carries, with it the story of victory, post-war recovery, and the everyday lives of people during that era. This historical connection gives the coin an additional layer of importance that adds to its collectability. Now, many people wonder just how valuable a 1945 wheat cent can be today. The truth is that while millions were made, the real value lies in finding coins with excellent preservation, rare mint marks, or striking errors. A regular worn example may only bring a few cents, but uncirculated examples can sell for several dollars each, and rare errors or exceptional mint state coins can bring much higher prices. For example, collectors will pay far more for a 1945 penny graded at a high mint state level, especially if it shows full red luster, which means it has retained its original copper brilliance. Some of these coins can sell for hundreds of dollars, proving that not all 1945 pennies are the same. Collectors also enjoy building complete sets of Lincoln Wheat cents, which means they need the 1945 coin in order to finish their collections. This demand helps support the value of the coin even in lower grades. But when you add in special qualities, such as sharp detail, beautiful color, or rare mint errors, the coin becomes more than just a filler. It becomes a standout piece that collectors are willing to compete for. This competition often drives prices up, which is why it pays to carefully check any 1945 wheat cent you come across. Another interesting aspect of these coins is their composition. By 1945, the U.S. Mint had returned to using a bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, following the 1943 steel cent experiment during the war. This means that the 1945 wheat cent has that traditional copper look that collectors love, and many people enjoy the warm tones and aged patina that develop on these coins over time. Some coins tone beautifully, and attractive natural coloration can make a coin even more desirable to collectors. When you look at the 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent, it is important to remember that every detail matters in determining its value. The date, the mint mark, the condition, and the possibility of errors all play a role. This is why collectors and enthusiasts spend time carefully examining coins under good lighting and magnification. That extra effort can reveal hidden treasures that turn an ordinary-looking penny into a valuable collectible. So if you happen to find a 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent, do not overlook it. Check the mint mark, study the details, and look closely for any unusual features. Even if it is worn, it is still a piece of American history worth keeping. And if it happens to be in higher condition or show signs of an error, it could be worth far more than you expect. Collectors all over the world are still searching for these coins, and the demand for Lincoln Wheat cents continues to remain strong. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent is not just a penny. It is a coin that connects us to history, carries potential value far beyond its denomination, and excites collectors with the possibility of rare discoveries. Whether it is the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco issue, each coin tells a story and offers opportunities for collectors to find value. This is why you should always take the time to carefully check your wheat cents, especially the 1945 issue, because you never know when you might be holding a valuable piece of numismatic treasure in your hands. Next up, the legendary 1951 Lincoln's Wheat Cent with S mint mark. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Cent with the S mint mark is one of the most interesting pennies from the mid-20th century. At first glance, it might look like just another old copper coin, but when you take a closer look, you realize that the 1951 S Lincoln Wheat Cent has historical significance, collector appeal, and in the right condition, surprising value. Many people who come across this coin in collections, coin rolls, or inherited jars of pennies don't realize what they're holding. This is why it's important to learn everything about this particular coin, because certain examples of the 1951 S wheat cent can be worth far more than 1 cent. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse, the portrait of Lincoln was introduced, and on the reverse, the two stalks of wheat gave the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. By 1951, the design was already beloved by collectors and had become a staple of American coinage. The S mint mark on the 1951 Lincoln Wheat cent shows that the coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. This alone adds interest because many collectors enjoy assembling complete sets with coins from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Having an S mint mark from 1951 is an important piece of that puzzle, and collectors are always searching for high-quality examples. When you talk about value, condition plays the biggest role. A 1951 S Lincoln Wheat cent in heavily circulated condition might not bring more than a few cents, but in uncirculated condition, the story changes completely. Coins that have their original mint luster, sharp details in Lincoln's hair, and crisp wheat stalks on the reverse can bring strong premiums. Some mint-state examples with the coveted red coloration are especially valuable. Collectors will often pay far more for a coin that looks bright, sharp, and original. This is why people carefully store their wheat cents and why finding an untouched 1951 S can feel like discovering a hidden treasure. Another aspect that makes the 1951 S Lincoln Wheat cent valuable is the presence of errors and varieties. During the minting process, small mistakes could create coins that are different from the rest, and those errors are always in demand. For example, a repunched mint mark, where the S was punched into the die more than once, creates a doubling effect that is collectible. Other potential errors include off-center strikes, clip planchets, and die cracks. Each of these varieties makes a coin unique and gives it value far beyond that of a regular issue. Collectors spend hours examining their coins with magnification, hoping to spot one of these errors, because when they do, they know they might have a coin worth many times its face value. The mintage of the 1951 S wheat cent was in the hundreds of millions, but survival in pristine condition is much lower. Most of these coins entered circulation immediately and were used heavily in everyday commerce during the 1950s. That means the majority of coins you see today are worn, with smooth details and faded surfaces. Finding one in high grades is much more difficult, which is why collectors will pay extra for certified mint-state examples. This demand keeps the coin valuable in the collector market, and the 1951 S continues to attract attention even decades after it was struck. It's also important to recognize the historical significance of this coin. The year 1951 was part of the post-World War II era, a time when the U.S. economy was booming, families were growing, and American coinage was a part of everyday life. Holding a 1951 S wheat cent connects you to that period of history. Every penny passed through countless hands, and when preserved, it becomes a tangible link to mid-century America. Collectors value not only the coin itself, but also the story it tells, and this historical connection adds to its lasting appeal. Now let's talk more about values. A typical worn 1951 S wheat cent might trade for a small amount above face value, but once you move into uncirculated condition, the values grow quickly. Mint-state coins with red surfaces are especially in demand. While a brown coin might be worth a modest amount, a red coin in high grade could be worth several dollars or more. When you add in rare errors, such as double dies or repunched mint marks, the value can increase dramatically. Some of these error coins can sell for much higher amounts, sometimes even reaching into the hundreds of dollars, depending on rarity and condition. That is why collectors carefully inspect every single 1951 S penny they encounter. Collectors also appreciate the 1951 S because it completes a necessary slot in Lincoln Wheat cent albums. Coin collectors often build full date-in mint mark sets, and without the San Francisco issue, the set feels incomplete. This consistent demand ensures that even lower-grade examples find buyers, while higher-quality pieces see bidding competition that pushes their values higher. The thrill of filling that slot with a bright, red mint-state example keeps collectors searching and keeps the coin valuable in the marketplace. The metal composition of the 1951 S wheat cent also adds to its appeal. Like most wheat cents after 1944, It was struck from an alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Copper has always held intrinsic value, and the rich reddish color of these coins gives them a distinctive beauty. Over time, many have toned into shades of brown or red-brown, and these color designations are important for collectors. A full red example is the most desirable and therefore the most valuable, while brown coins, although common, still hold interest because of their age and history. Every time you examine a 1951 wheat cent, remember that details matter. Look at the mint mark carefully. Some may show signs of repunching. Study the date for signs of doubling. Examine the rims, lettering, and wheat stalks for clarity. Each feature can reveal clues about whether you are holding a common worn coin or a valuable collectible. The difference in value between a worn penny and a gem red mint state example is enormous, and collectors are always on the lookout for the best examples they can find. The beauty of collecting wheat cents like the 1951 is that they are accessible to beginners and exciting for advanced collectors. For someone just starting out, finding a 1951 penny in a roll can feel like a big achievement. For an experienced collector, the challenge lies in tracking down the highest quality pieces and the rarer varieties. In both cases, the coin remains important, valuable, and a key part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. So while it might seem like just another old penny, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Cent holds far more value than most people realize. Its place in history, its role in completing collections, its potential for errors, and its beauty in mint state condition all combine to make it a coin worth paying attention to. If you come across one, don't ignore it. Take the time to check its details, because you might be holding a valuable treasure in your hands. Collectors everywhere are searching for the best examples of the 1951 wheat cent, and that demand ensures its lasting value in the coin collecting world. Next up, the iconic 1952 Lincoln's Wheat Penny with D mint mark. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent with the D mint mark is one of the most popular coins from the mid-20th century, and it continues to attract strong attention from collectors today. At first glance, it looks like just another copper penny, but when you look closer, you realize that the 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Cent is a coin with both history and value. It represents an important part of the Wheat Penny series, and depending on its condition, mint mark details, and possible errors, this coin can be worth much more than 1 cent. Many people don't realize that a simple 1952 D penny they come across in change, a coin jar, or an inherited collection could actually be valuable, and that is why this coin deserves attention. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner designed a coin with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. The design became a classic, and by 1952 it had already been in circulation for more than 40 years. The D mint mark on the 1952 wheat cent stands for Denver, one of the major mints producing U.S. coins at the time. The Denver Mint struck a large number of these pennies, but despite the high mintage, the real value comes when collectors find coins in outstanding condition or with unusual minting errors. Condition is the most important factor in determining the value of the 1952 D wheat cent. A coin that has been heavily circulated and worn down may only be worth a few cents above its face value. But when you find one in uncirculated condition, the story changes dramatically. Uncirculated coins that still have their original luster, sharp details in Lincoln's portrait, and full definition in the wheat stalks are worth much more. Collectors especially prize coins that retain their bright red copper color, as these are the hardest to find after more than 70 years. A red 1952 D wheat cent in mint state condition can be worth several dollars, and in the highest grades, even more. Another factor that makes this coin valuable is the possibility of errors and varieties. During the minting process, small mistakes sometimes occurred, and when they did, they produced coins that are now worth far more than regular issues. Some of the known varieties for the 1952 D wheat cent include repunched mint marks, where the D was struck into the die more than once, leaving behind doubling or shadow effects. Collectors love these repunched mint mark varieties, and they can bring strong premiums. Other errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or clip planchets also make these coins unique and desirable. For a collector, discovering one of these era coins in a roll of wheat cents or in an old collection can be like hitting the jackpot. The mintage of the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent was high, with hundreds of millions produced. However, while the coin is not considered rare in general terms, finding one in pristine, untouched condition is far more challenging. Most of the coins were used in circulation during the 1950s, a time of post-war growth and everyday commerce. As a result, the majority of surviving examples are worn and brown. The number of original mint state red coins that have survived is much smaller, and that scarcity is what drives their value higher. Collectors understand this, and they are always on the lookout for the best preserved examples of the 1952 wheat cent. The historical context of this coin adds another layer of importance. In 1952, the United States was entering a period of prosperity, and coins like the Lincoln Wheat Cent were a part of everyday life. Holding a 1952 penny today is like holding a piece of mid-century history, a reminder of what life was like more than 70 years ago. Collectors appreciate this connection to history, and it adds sentimental and historical value on top of the coin's market value. When discussing value, it is important to look at different levels of preservation. A well-worn 1952 might only be worth a few cents, but in higher mint state grades, values can climb into the double digits. If the coin has exceptional color, sharp details, and strong eye appeal, it can sell for even more. Add in a rare error, such as a double die or repunched mint mark, and the value can jump dramatically. Some of these era coins can fetch impressive premiums, because collectors are always searching for them. This is why it is so important to carefully examine any 1952 wheat cent you come across. Collectors also seek the 1952 wheat cent because it is part of completing a full set. Many collectors build albums of wheat cents that include every year and every mint mark, and without the Denver issue from 1952, the set is incomplete. This constant demand ensures that even common examples are sought after, while exceptional coins command higher prices. The challenge of finding a 1952 in top condition or with a rare variety makes the search even more exciting, keeping collectors engaged and driving up competition for the best pieces. The composition of the 1952 wheat cent is another point of interest. It was struck in a bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This copper composition gives the coin its distinct color and beauty. Over the years, many coins have toned to shades of brown or red-brown, while the most valuable examples have retained their full red brilliance. Collectors and grading systems use color designations of brown, red-brown, and red, with red being the most desirable and valuable. The difference in value between a brown 1952 and a full red 1952 in mint state can be significant, sometimes several times higher. When examining a 1952 wheat cent, pay close attention to the mint mark. Repunched mint marks are one of the most collectible varieties, and spotting one can greatly increase the coin's value. Also, look for signs of doubling on the date or lettering, and check the edges and surfaces for unusual shapes that may indicate mint errors. Even a small difference can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth several dollars or more. This is why collectors and coin enthusiasts study their coins closely under magnification. The 1952 wheat cent is not just another penny. It is a coin with collectible value, historical significance, and the potential for hidden rarity. For new collectors, finding one in change or in a roll is exciting. And for experienced collectors, the search for the best examples and rare errors keeps the challenge alive. This balance of accessibility and potential value is part of what makes the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent so special. Even though millions were struck, the fact that collectors are still searching for this coin today proves that it holds real value. Its role in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, its connection to American history, and its potential for mint state beauty or rare errors all combine to make it a coin worth keeping and studying. Whether you find one in a collection, at a coin shop, or even by chance in pocket change, the 1952 wheat cent should never be overlooked. The 1952 D Lincoln Wheat cent with the D mint mark is valuable because of its condition, its varieties, and the collector demand that has never gone away. It is more than just 1 cent. It is a piece of numismatic history that continues to bring excitement to collectors across the world. That is why this coin deserves a close look, and why it will always be considered a valuable part of the Lincoln Wheat cent series. Now we'll explore the super rare 1953 Lincoln's Wheat Penny with D mint mark. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat cent with the D mint mark is one of those coins that at first may look like just another old penny, but in reality, it has important value to collectors and a strong place in U.S. coinage history. Many people who come across a 1953 D wheat cent in their collection, a family coin jar, or even in a coin roll don't realize that this is more than just 1 cent depending on its condition, its minting quality, and the possibility of errors. The 1953 D wheat cent can be worth much more than face value. Collectors continue to search for this coin, and the demand for it proves that it is indeed valuable. The Lincoln Wheat cent series was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse, it features Lincoln's portrait, and on the reverse, it shows 2 wheat stalks, giving the coin its famous nickname, the Wheat Penny. The design became one of the most beloved in U.S. history, and by 1953, it had already been circulating for decades. The 1953 D issue came from the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark located just below the date on the coin. While the Denver Mint produced a large number of these pennies, collectors today know that not all 1953 D wheat cents are equal in value. Condition is the first and most important factor in determining the value of a 1953 D Lincoln Wheat cent, a coin that has circulated heavily, showing wear on Lincoln's hair, flattening in the lettering, and smooth wheat stalks, might only be worth a small premium over face value. However, when you find a 1953 D wheat cent in uncirculated condition, with its original red copper luster and sharp details, its value rises significantly. Collectors pay strong premiums for coins that remain bright, attractive, and well-preserved after more than 70 years. A brilliant red example in mint state is always in demand and can sell for many times its face value. Another exciting factor that makes the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat cent valuable is the presence of mint errors and varieties. Errors occur when something unusual happens during the striking process, and they always attract collector attention. Some of the most desirable varieties for this date include repunched mint marks, where the D was punched into the die more than once, creating a doubled effect that collectors love. There are also examples of off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, and other anomalies that make each coin unique. These era coins often bring prices far above regular issues because collectors are eager to own something rare and different. The mintage of the 1953 D wheat cent was in the hundreds of millions, but the survival of top-quality coins is what truly matters today. Most of these pennies were spent in everyday commerce during the 1950s and beyond, leaving behind a large supply of worn examples. However, the number of coins that remain in pristine, untouched condition is much smaller. Collectors focus on these high-grade survivors, and that is where the real value lies. A coin that has retained its bright copper color and sharp strike is always more valuable than one that has dulled or worn down. Beyond condition and errors, the historical importance of the 1953 D wheat cent also adds to its collectability. The early 1950s were a time of growth and change in the United States, and coins from that era carry the stories of the people who used them every day. Holding a 1953 D penny is like holding a small piece of mid-century American history. Collectors value not just the metal, but also the connection to the past that coins like this provide. This combination of history and collectability is one of the reasons why the 1953 D wheat cent continues to hold value today. When we talk about actual market values, the range can vary widely depending on quality. A heavily worn 1953 D may only be worth a few cents, but a mint state red example can be worth several dollars, sometimes more depending on grade. If you add in the presence of an error or a popular variety, like a repunched mint mark, the value can increase significantly. Some era coins can sell for many multiples of what a regular example brings. This is why coin enthusiasts carefully examine every 1953 D wheat cent they find, because even a small detail can make a big difference in value. Collectors also pursue the 1953 D wheat cent as part of completing their sets. Many hobbyists strive to build complete collections of Lincoln Wheat cents by date and mint mark, and without the Denver issue from 1953, the set is incomplete. This steady demand means that the coin is always needed, which supports its value across all grades. But the real excitement comes when collectors compete for the best examples, the brightest red coins, and the rare errors. This competition pushes values higher and keeps interest in the 1953 D strong. The composition of the 1953 D wheat cent also contributes to its lasting appeal. Like other wheat cents struck after World War II, it was made from a bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Copper coins have a warmth and beauty that collectors love, and the way they age over time can be striking. Coins that remain full red are the most valuable, but even those that have toned to brown or red-brown still hold collector interest. The difference in value between a brown 1953 D and a full red mint state 1953 D can be dramatic, which is why color designations matter so much in numismatics. Whenever you look at a 1953 D Lincoln Wheat cent, remember that the details are what determine its value. The mint mark placement, the sharpness of the strike, the color of the surfaces, and the presence of any unusual features all play a role. A coin that may look ordinary at first glance could reveal an air of variety and magnification, turning it into something much more valuable. This is why collectors take the time to study each coin carefully before deciding what it is worth. The 1953 D wheat cent is not just another penny from the past. It is a coin with real collector demand, important historical significance, and the potential for hidden value. For beginners, finding one in a roll or a collection is an exciting discovery. For advanced collectors, the search for the highest quality examples and rare era varieties makes this coin a rewarding challenge. No matter your level of experience, the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat cent deserves your attention. Even though millions were minted, the 1953 D remains valuable today because collectors need it to complete their sets, because high-grade examples are scarce, and because era varieties make it even more desirable. This coin represents the beauty of the Lincoln Wheat cent series and continues to prove that even a small copper penny can hold great worth. If you come across a 1953 D wheat cent, do not overlook it. Take the time to check its condition, its color, and its details, because you might be holding a valuable piece of numismatic history in your hands. The 1953 D Lincoln Wheat cent with the D mint mark is valuable, it is collectible, and it is a lasting part of American coinage history. It is more than just 1 cent. It is a coin that continues to attract attention, excite collectors, and bring surprising value to those who take the time to study it closely. As you've seen in this video, Lincoln Wheat cents like the 1945 wheat penny, the 1951 S wheat cent, the 1952 D wheat cent, and the 1953 D wheat cent are not just ordinary pennies. These coins hold real value, real history, and real collector demand. Whether it's the condition, the mint mark, or the possibility of rare errors and varieties, each of these Lincoln Wheat cents can be worth far more than just 1 cent. Collectors all over the world are searching for these valuable pennies, and that's why you should always check your change, check your coin jars, and check your collections carefully. You never know when you might be holding a hidden treasure like a 1945 Lincoln Wheat cent, a 1951 S from San Francisco, a 1952 D from Denver, or a 1953 D wheat penny that could be worth much more than face value. These valuable coins continue to prove why Lincoln Wheat cents remain one of the most collected and most valuable series in U.S. coin history.